The F-14 Tomcat certainly came into a lot of recognition when they had the movie Top Gun.
Yes, that really put the Navy aviation program on the map. You can see the stages of the afterburner as the aircraft goes into a vertical climb.
What a shot that is, looking back at that.
Now here he is showing a landing configuration with the tail hooked down and flying real slow.
And I think an amazing thing, Gibby, is his acceleration out of that configuration.
A lot of power in that airplane. And you can see the little diamond puffs that represent the compressor stages of the afterburner.
Now we turn from air to the sea, the floating islands of a ship. And that means if there's a disaster on board, they have to be ready to handle it themselves.
This team that you see here is Cole's onboard fire department. They're all volunteers that join the Navy to do just this kind of thing, and they lead all the damage control efforts for the ship. This event itself is one in which they rig a portable pump that draws water and then brings it to the scene as required. We need to be able to do this in case we lose the installed firefighting in the ship. Very important.
When a major catastrophe hits a ship, or if a fire breaks out or flooding, these are the guys that go and respond. They're the first line of defense. These guys are the ones who go out there and make sure that that ship stays afloat and everybody's life is safe. There's an old saying, like in the Marines, everyone's a rifleman, and in the Navy, everyone's a DC man.
You think about what Cole suffered in Aden. One of the reasons the ship is back and we're here to tell the story now is because of the training that these guys undertook. The sailors on board at the time saved that ship. You know, I had the easiest job in the Navy. I just had to create an environment for them to succeed, and they do every day in spades. And this is such a great event for us to be at because it shows that we're back better than ever and we're ready to go do what the President needs us to go do. If you're an American, you should be just very proud of all of them.
And we certainly are, and we emphasize again, this is the USS Cole, the ship you heard about that suffered all that damage. And this ship is a mighty, mighty destroyer. But it is a ship that doesn't forget either. This is a lasting tribute to the honor, the courage, and commitment of those on board who were lost in that tragedy. The USS Cole.
We are just absolutely incredibly proud, bursting at the seams, frankly, almost like a proud father of what our young Marines accomplished in this recent war. Overall, we've got about 80% of our total Marine Corps that are forward base, forward stationed, or forward deployed. So we are really committed to global war on terrorism.
You're looking down on the beach in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the military has estimated over 4 million people for the 2 days of the McDonald's Air and Sea Show, the largest spectator event in the world. And along with this event leading up to it, the Chris Everett Children's Hospital Kids Day. In cooperation with the Broward County School System, they bring out thousands of middle school children and junior ROTC students. It's a day of inspiring, motivating, and educating some core values of service before self.
These people are fighting for us, for peace right here in this country. So when I see, I just feel a lot of respect for them. Because I want to join the Army too, so I feel a lot of respect, and I'm like, hopefully I want to be one of them in the future.
Well, I love when they do that. They stop and then they spin down back. How do they do that?
Along with all the education and inspiring, they also get a preview of the show, and they loved it. Now here's one of the acts everybody loves, Kirby Chambliss. Talk to me a little bit about how this guy operates this plane, Gibby.
Well, I'll tell you, there's very few people that operate an airplane like he does. Look how crisp those turns are. That airplane doesn't waver an inch. Did you know that he's pulling an awful lot of G's while he's doing that? And it's very easy to see why he's the reigning world champ.
Kirby Chambliss also has a way of putting the plane straight up and in this case, dropping it straight down.
Again, a tail slide and done with absolute precision. You can even see he stays right within the smoke when he's doing that vertical climb. This airplane he has, the Zivco 540 Edge, is again a unique airplane. Like most of these top acrobatic pilots, he has a specially designed airplane that meets his qualifications. And those have to be pretty stringent.
I would imagine, and they have to go through a lot of stress tests to make sure that they can take what's happening up there, because he's really testing every inch of that airplane.
And they check it regularly. There again, you have an airplane capable of pulling 10 positive Gs and over 7 negative Gs. That's a lot of stress.
Kirby Chambliss thrilling the crowd in Fort Lauderdale. And as he says goodbye, we welcome the A-10 Warthog. This is a plane that everybody seems to have just a heartfelt warmth for.
Yeah, she's not fast, she's not pretty, but boy, to an infantryman on the ground, she's a welcome sight. And that's day or night in any weather.
And one thing this plane did during the recent war effort, Gibby, was it brought to the fact that there are female pilots, because we had a great story about a young lady who flew this plane back after its tail section had been shot out. It had never been done before with a Warthog.
Well, that's a nice job for any pilot to get back safely after combat damage, and my kudos to her for doing a great job.
This Warthog is a very maneuverable airplane and certainly has become part of the backbone of any attack.
And look at the pilot. He keeps looking around. Situational awareness is absolutely the key when you're low to the ground.
Now we move to a different type of aircraft. The Florida Army National Guard unit brings in the Apache helicopter.
The HH-64, another infantryman's friend. He's got laser-guided guns, Hellfire missiles, can hide down in the weeds. That airplane gets out in front of the troops and looks over the hills, looks down on the roofs to make sure that there's any threats that they can deal with to keep our infantry out of harm's way.
I mean, just looking at it, it gives you chills, because that is firepower on display.
Well, I wouldn't want to be in anybody's enemy armor and have that thing looking down on me.
Now, as the Navy ships were visiting for Fleet Week in Fort Lauderdale, the sailors were working.
The sailors are out here because we have this great community project called Harmony Village, which is a partnership with the town of Davie. And we formed a partnership as well with the Navy. And every year during this time of Fleet Week, the Navy comes out and volunteers with us. And we have repeat folks that come out year after year that are on the same ships coming back to us. And they work in partnership with our families, building our homes.
We're doing what we can for the local area. We provide extra help when we can.
I never thought I was going to have a house, the opportunity to have a house. And I mean, it means a lot to me that the Navy come up here, because at least I know there's some people out there that they care about me. And that means a lot for me.
I know folks are saying thanks to us, but quite frankly, we take just as much pleasure in saying thank you to the patriots that have supported us through thick and thin. This is our way of saying thanks to the citizens of the United States.
And the citizens of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, said thanks to the military with some fine parties.
This is a very special week. This is a week of thanks. We're all here today to say thank you to the men and women that are protecting our freedom, protecting democracy, protecting all that we stand for.
And it was a week of fun activities for all the military who were in town as part of Fleet Week USA, presented by McDonald's. And that included some golfing. And remember, these folks had just returned from the war.
Great day.
They enjoyed it, and it doesn't matter what level they played, whether they'd ever played before or not. It was a good time.
The youngster that runs the ship. You gotta love that.
And here's something else they gotta love, and that's the nighttime entertainment that was had all throughout Fort Lauderdale. They really welcomed the sailors of Fleet Week. And along with that welcoming committee were Miss Florida and Miss Miami. It was a fun time. We'll be back with more in a moment.
I think all of America is proud of what our men and women have done in this recent event. And it just speaks to the quality of the people that we have, I think, and as well as the training that we give them.